Hey, g'day guys, how you going? It's Justin Allen here from my Good Advice channel, here to give you good advice for a better future. Right, today I'm talking about narrating a book. So this is my experience, my first time experience going into a recording studio in St Kilda, proper studio. They've been doing it for nearly 20 years. So they did give me some pointers, this and that, some advice. I actually went for 2 hours just to see, I just went there on my intentions were to just see if I was suitable. So you got to really say to yourself, like, sometimes you can be better to hire somebody out that's already got the skills, and rather than you try and achieve the skills. So it could be like fast forwarding, wasting a couple of years trying to get those skills when you can already fast forward that and pay somebody else. So I went there and I was a bit nervous, to be honest. It was like the day before I spent 3 hours practicing and reading the book out loud. So this book, of course, my book, Obsessed About Financial Freedom, and the price was $242 for 2 hours. And I actually sat back after for about half an hour speaking to the guys, and my voice was pretty good. I think it's just my problems, like I have trouble with making mistakes, and then I got to go back and I think the book will require too much editing basically. So I'd much prefer, I've decided to hire it out. The guys told me, they recommended me, you gotta say your book's gotta be up with the, you know, top 100 or top 20, whatever. So if your book's not gonna, your voice is gonna wreck the book. So I think I said to them, I'll just stick to doing my own version on YouTube and all this and that. And I've actually hired a professional now in the process, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take about a month for them to do it, because it is a big book and a lot of people just can't drop everything for you. You've got to book it in, so they've got time for it. So that's what I'm doing. It's going to cost around $3,800 to hire somebody else, and there's websites out there, and I even asked a friend, and he said, he originally said at the start of the year, yeah, 100% that he'll do it. No, he's pulled out, he's had a kid, and he's like changed his mind. Sadly he had his wife give birth. His name's AJ, and he had one of the babies. He had twins, and one of them passed away. So he's sort of like, I've given him time to, you know, you've got to give people time, but I can't wait forever. So anyway, so I'll have to say that it's very good to get out there and have an experience in narrating a book, or doing a podcast, or you could even practice for singing. But I have learned a few things, like when you go into it, like you can practice all you want, but you've really got to be practicing at the studio, you know what I mean? Because soon it's like going to war. I think sometimes you can do all the practicing at the army base, but the real practice comes when you're out on the field. You can get all nervous, and it sort of makes it a lot harder. You're in a different environment. And when I was recording, I did find that you have the earbuds or earmuffs on. So they do sort of like you're talking to the guys in there, and they tell you to repeat, oh, you haven't said that word correctly, and they tell you to redo the section again. So it is interesting to have that on, but it is a bit annoying too. So I found that just have one ear on, so that was a bit easier. So it was sort of like what I was used to. So it is a bit different using the headphones. But you could hear your voice when you're talking as well, and I'd have to say, like, through their system, my voice did sound a lot better than listening through your phone. So, and the editing isn't that good. Like, if you have to do too much editing, it can ruin the book, because you got to sort of make it flow and not sound like it's edited. So you can sort of, it's not really worth it in a way. You got to try and say like a whole page without having too many mistakes. Basically, if you're going to do heaps of mistakes, it's going to ruin the book basically. So you've got to be one of those people that can say a whole page with only say one mistake, or maybe two tops. And I'd have to say it was a very good experience. I was very nervous, but I'd have to say I probably could have done a very good job if I was to get into it and practiced and went there many times. But even then, even if you say went there, 20 times for 2 hours and it's going to cost you a fortune, for the same money you could just hire somebody else and all the stress goes on to them. Anyway, so I've decided to hire a guy called Joshua. So guys, the company I've used is Voice Realm. If you want to check it out, they're a pretty good company. You can go on their website and you can look up all the narrators, and you can have a listen to their previous work, and you can say they've done commercials and cartoons. But you got to be careful, like some of them won't do audiobooks, so not all of them will want to take on a big project like that. So keep that in mind. And you can go through all the is male and female, and you could even, if you're into it, you could even use it as a job. If you're looking for a job, you could apply to put up your own contents and your own samples and your own photo and your own experience, your own resume of what you've done. So it could even be a job for you guys if you want to look into it. They can get pretty good money on there. Like I said, it was pretty expensive, and they charge by the word count. So however long the book is, the more they charge and the more they get paid. So guys, like I'm not saying for everyone to just hire out the work. Have a go yourself first, and then just see whether you think you can do it as good as up there. If you're comparing yourself to other narrated books that have been done very well, if you can do it as well as them, go for it. But if you can't, you got to say, I believe, like in there's 3 boxes. You're either no good at something, or you're really good at something, like you're talented at it, or you're the third person, the type of person who needs a lot of work put in. And I'd have to say I need a lot of work put in. So I'm not trying to cut corners and give up. At least I had a go. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying to have a go, and if you got to accept, sometimes you got to do what's best for the book. Otherwise, you're just gonna make the book not right. So a part of success in life, I believe, is you got to have a crack yourself, but you also got to hire out to professionals, because their skills are just profound. Like if the book has to be exceptional and I can't do it, it's either do a crap job or take forever, or just hire it out. So sometimes it can be using leverage, more for less. Just it's gonna be cheaper if I hire it out anyway, because by the time if you pay someone else and you pay their time, or if you do it yourself and you have to spend extra 10 hours there, it's going to add up to a lot of money. It's going to add up, like I said, times that, it's going to add up to a lot of money. So it could cost an extra $1,200 or something. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye. This book is a magical book with superpowers, with the potential to change the lives of whoever reads it and applies the knowledge into their life's journey, for a much better chance to achieve financial freedom as soon as possible. If only someone had given me this book when I was a teenager, I believe that I would have achieved financial freedom much younger, but it's better late than never. Remember, knowledge is only potential power, as if this book of knowledge was a treasure map to gold, jewels, and riches, you still need to get off the couch, turn off the TV, and make an organized plan, applied in the correct order, have the correct tools and equipment to receive the reward. I have learned that I am motivated by faith and desire. I seek the light at the end of the tunnel of my goal to achieve financial freedom. The way we spend our time. Money can always be made more of. Tick tock, can you hear that noise? Chapter 4, Time. Precious asset called time. Once you have sold your time, no amount of money. There is always more ways to get more out of your day. Through repetition, you can learn how to be more time efficient, and you can even buy tools to help get you more out of your day. take into consideration an hour of our life is worth what we get paid. We have to either accept it or raise our value to society.
I never